notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do your dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back to turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do your dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back to turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co.
All right, good morning and welcome in here on this Tuesday morning as we recap everything that's transpired over the last 24 plus hours. We appreciate all of you starting your morning with us, as every single day our show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. We have partnered with FanDuel for the year of 2026. Through our friends over at Believe, as they take care of our podcast every single day.
Wow.
Cam Rogers and the crew at Believe. Well, Lloyd takes care of the podcast.
Yeah.
Teams up with Believe.
That's right. Pass the baton.
There you go.
A finished product.
And you do a beautiful job of it. So.
I don't know about that,
Hey,
but
it gets done.
it's going to get better now that
It's only going to get better.
Poge has given us some more keys to the kingdom.
Yes, that's for sure. But yes, we're brought to you by FanDuel, and last night's FanDuel bet did not hit. And we were on a good stretch there because all the bets we were throwing out there were doing relatively well.
What'd y'all have?
We had Indiana covering. But I remember if we flash back to the end of last week, our DePaul bet cashed.
Did cash.
DePaul covered 3.5 as they won by 5, 80-75.
Got those losers out the building.
Yeah, they got
flushed out the rats.
Got the cheaters out the locker room. But Indiana does not cover 7.5 last night, as it was the most tightly contested playoff game for the Hoosiers. But they still get the win. Indiana caps off a 16-0 regular season and is victorious over the Miami Hurricanes last night. Credit to Curt Cignetti and that entire roster and the job they've done, that staff, to turn that team around. Is it, Lloyd, Poggi, Christian, the most impressive coaching job to make it, a turnaround in
yes, history.
college football history?
Yes.
College sports history even, maybe?
Yes, both. Not only with the fact that he did it, right? It did it last year, first year to Indiana. They were awful.
Right.
Goes there, says, Google me, gets them to the college football playoff. Next year, people think they didn't belong after their run. Like, oh, you let Indiana in. This is what's wrong. 16-0, undefeated. Curt Cignetti goes and finds Mendoza, who is a freak.
Right.
Take it from the front and the back. Anything to get it
I'll do
out.
anything for my team. I'll take shots from the front and the back. Fernando.
He speaks with such, I don't know if it's passion or what.
I would say passion.
It's a tick.
That's a good
it's
word
how
I would use.
Rowe explained it was correct.
Yes.
He's very passionate about football.
He loves football.
He does.
That's for sure. And, there was a classic football guy play in that game where, me and my friends were watching the game. And, you're not that emotionally invested in it. Now, we were financially invested in it. Shout out to our friends over at FanDuel. We weren't emotionally invested because you're not a Miami or an Indiana fan. Huh. But then when Mendoza makes a play like he does on 4th and 5, quarterback draw, cuts inside, or actually bounces it out, to get around a block, and then breaks a tackle, goes full Superman dive, gets rocked as he's midair, holds on to the football, touchdown. I mean, if you don't get up out of your seat and flex at the television, flex to the crowd.
He did. He said it too. He Fowler dropped it. He's flexing to the crowd.
I mean, you just don't love football.
No.
If that doesn't
If that doesn't get you at least a little rocked up.
Yeah.
And you're just like, the sport's not for you.
Yeah, you're not a football guy.
Because this is straight out of central casting for a movie. Like the last play, slow-mo.
Yes.
This is Friday Night Lights if Mike Winchell actually gets in the end zone. Yeah. Yeah. Music starting.
Touch that, dude. It was impressive.
How about Becker?
Yeah, Charlie Becker was balling, but this player, I mean, this is a football guy play.
All effort. 4th and 5.
No, dude. I mean, I got up in front of the TV and I was fired up.
Well, they said that they had drawn this play up for this situation. Of course, Zack sees everything.
Of course.
Ready for everything.
Of course.
And he said if it's zone,
shout out to the cloud.
It doesn't have to be a pass play. I mean, it's a pass play. If it's man, it's a run play. It's
right.
a draw. He's like, well, they were half. Yeah, it's like they were half the field was in zone, half the field was in man. He's like, well, we didn't practice this. He goes, I'm gonna bet on myself. And you could see that it wasn't designed perfectly,
right.
but enough to get 5 for sure.
Make a move, go.
And then he just went full Heisman winner and capped off the Indiana season only the way that it probably should have been, with Mendoza making a Herculean effort to get into the end zone, cap the game, and then the defense. Obviously, and then Carson Beck goes full Carson Beck on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Because that was the the thing was when Miami gets the ball back, all the pressure is on one person. All the pressure's on the quarterback in that situation. So it's the worst thing that could have happened for Miami is, okay, now the pressure's on Carson Beck. And
this is why you bet on Indiana.
With the game on the line, Carson Beck goes Carson Beck. I mean, you can't be surprised the game ended with an interception via the hand of Carson Beck, the arm of Carson Beck. We do have a busy show for you today. Joe Schwartz is going to get in here early at 8:30. So we're going to get rolling here before he joins us. Zack Nagy will also join us at 9. So the LSU football conversation will definitely pick up then when Nagy joins us via Zoom to talk about everything that's transpired over the last couple of days, as it has been a busy closing to the portal window, ? But we will see, as Lane Kiffin has been active on social media this morning.
Yep.
On Twitter, he gets out a post that says this is going to be the best day yet. And then I think it was a picture of his car dashboard, 300 miles of gas. Shout out. But yeah, he says this is going to be the best day yet at LSU football. And then he also went to the Instagram story and hit a hashtag Blindside Day. And if anyone has heard of the movie Blindside, it is Michael Orr is the name, who is this this large man that gets taken in by this wealthy family in Mississippi.
Gets schemed.
He ends up he turns into this all-state football player, plays at Ole Miss, the whole deal.
Well, Eddie got recruited by everyone.
He did. And
Same thing
you
as-
watch the movie. I mean, everybody's recruiting him.
Nick Saban's in it. Ed Orgeron's in it.
Yep.
Fat Fulmer's in it.
Sandra Bullock?
The who's who of college football coaches.
It is.
And it is very much like Seton's recruitment right now.
And
where he is being courted by everyone.
Big left tackle, like Orr was in the movie. And so that's what I took, hashtag Blindside Day to me, and I think that's a pretty safe bet. So, look, it's yesterday, the direction it went, right? We were closing out the show yesterday morning, and the conversation around the dinner last night, the supper club dinner being canceled, was the big change. It was like, okay, well, that dinner's canceled. What's your brain automatically going to go to when the dinner's canceled?
Go to
He's
Oregon.
going to Oregon. Right, he's going on the next visit.
Yeah, going on the visit.
And so apparently that's not what happened. He did not leave Baton Rouge. He ends up staying in Baton Rouge. There's some videos posted on stories and some pictures and the governor's mansion, the whole deal. Credit to Matt Moscona, did his best investigative reporter work to zoom in on the dashboard of the vehicle as Seton was getting a escort through Baton Rouge. There was also a picture of Governor Landry and Cookie Kiffin as well. He posted that, so you see it's at 3:04. Then Lane posts this picture of Governor Landry and Cookie at the mansion yesterday. So, obviously, if you put the pieces together, you can see Seton obviously still in Baton Rouge, around the area of the governor's mansion, and he did not leave yesterday for Oregon. Instead, stayed in Baton Rouge, and it seems like it is trending in the direction of him to LSU. As LSU seems to be the favorite. Obviously, today you would assume would be the day you get announcements on him, Uman Miel, and just with the portal window wrapping up. Because obviously it closes on Friday. Technically, you still have time. Today would be like when the NCAA offices open back up. Things can start moving and shaking. And on LSU's side, last day to enroll in classes for the spring semester. So you would assume, timeline-wise, today would be a pretty big day. And when you look at Lane Kiffin's Instagram story posts and tweets, that would also lead for you to believe today will be a very important day in the 2026 offseason for the Tigers. On this conversation, with it moving in this direction, I thought about what our discussion yesterday a good bit, when we were talking about expectations and lack of excuses. And really, I don't think as I've thought about it, I don't think there would have been much room for excuses regardless. I think the way this is, especially from a public standpoint, the way this is all played out national media-wise, there weren't going to be many opportunities to place blame anywhere else from Lane Kiffin's standpoint because of leaving Ole Miss, the way it played out, the way it's been covered, and the perspective majority of people have around that move. And with that, they make a run. They win the Sugar Bowl. They get to the semis. Kiffin gets here. The pressure was going to be on regardless, and there weren't going to be many excuses because everything's going to be pointed towards, okay, well, you left a team that made it to the semis to go to LSU. You better make something happen. And you are seeing the effects and maybe the pressure of those expectations in the way they've attacked this first offseason. Because there weren't going to be many excuses. If LSU goes 8-4 next season or doesn't make the playoff, whatever, the national storyline, the national perspective was going to be pile on Kiffin because of the way it played out. Oh, you left Ole Miss, grass isn't always greener, the whole thing. And honestly, I mean, it's not set in stone. You don't know what LSU's record next year is going to be. But if it were to be 8-4 or something like that, regardless of how the offseason played out, whether it was the number one portal class or not, that would have been the talking point, the main narrative around LSU and Lane Kiffin. So what Lane Kiffin and LSU had to do this offseason was put together a dominant portal class, in which they have, and that has to roll over into next season and bring success in year one. And in addition to that storyline, the Ole Miss standpoint, there's also what you witnessed on the television last night, which changes the timeline around coaching changes and new staffs and the whole thing, right? Brian Kelly gets fired at LSU in year 4, right? Put pressure on year 3 to be the year. And Curt Cignetti in Indiana, he takes over the losingest program of all time, gets the playoff year 1 and goes undefeated and wins the whole thing year 2. That is the new era of college football. You have to deliver sooner rather than later, especially if you're a program to the caliber of LSU. And so with Lane Kiffin taking over now, you're going to have the national media narrative around him leaving Ole Miss and that whole mess. But there's also going to be just the perspective from what you just witnessed by Curt Cignetti in Indiana. Well, Lane Kiffin, guess what? That's the timeline. Sooner rather than later, fans are going to expect a ring. And that's what you've seen up to this point in this offseason. You've seen the effort, the desire, and the work to deliver on that expectation. If you're Lane Kiffin and all the storylines, all the narratives around you going into this offseason, you couldn't, from a PR standpoint, not put together the portal class you've already put together and could potentially make better in the next 24 hours. Adding a guy like Prince Wu, Monmiel, and Jordan Seaton potentially to that class. You had to put together that class. Right? You had to, and going up on the podium in your opening press conference and being like, I want to get on the phone now. And all the posts about January 2nd through 16th, the whole thing, and you needed to deliver on that. And you've done that and some. And so then that turns the attention to, okay, well, now what are the expectations actually in 2026? The expectations are to win, compete, look at Indiana. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be, well, you could have done that at Ole Miss last year. You left that to come here, so you better deliver. And it's also going to be, well, you don't really have many excuses because look at Indiana. After going, 1-11, 2-10, whatever they were, they're in the playoff and they've got a ring in 730 days. You're going to LSU. You're already one of the best coaches in the sport. The buy-in you've got, you've got to deliver. That's going to be the narrative around next season with LSU football. Regardless of what the schedule looks like, you have to deliver in year one because of the national media perspectives that are going to live around it. The Indiana experience we've just witnessed over the last 2 years, and the Ole Miss narrative that's going to live around Lane Kiffin until he gets that ring in Baton Rouge.
Indiana had 14 winning seasons in 76 years. The year before Cignetti arrived, they're 1-8 in the conference, 3-9 overall.
Yep.
They're most well known for basketball warm-up uniforms.
Right.
Yep.
And an undefeated season that was in 1986.
Yep.
And Bob Knight throwing a chair.
And beating Kentucky in 2012.
And
Christian Watson.
right, and now they are national champions.
Because when Cignetti got there, immediately overhauls the entire team with 30 transfers in his first year. They start off 10-0, losing the playoffs. The start of this year, 2025, adds 23 more transfer players. Once again, 10-0, now 16-0, win a national championship. He added 53 players in 2 years. This is the way to become a contender immediately if you do it right and do it through the portal. And there's another stat that has Indiana where it has the transfer portal age of the players that they added, and that's how they became the oldest roster in college football, only 2 years younger than the Philadelphia Eagles. And so you're essentially playing with a team that doesn't make mistakes because they're all mature, older players that play with Curt Cignetti, who doesn't allow you to make mistakes. What cost Miami? Indiana playing perfect defense on a cover two, where instead of just sitting in the flat, you sink, because there's nobody in front of you. Beck doesn't see him, throws it right to him. And that's another thing for the Carson Beck experience, as I believe his legacy will be, a complicated one. I saw this on Twitter. Carson Beck lost just 6 games in his college career, and 4 of them, the final offensive play was a Beck interception with a chance to win the game.
Yep. And with that brings Indiana a national championship. And like we said, the greatest turnaround in definitely the sport, maybe college athletics. And that is now the timeline. If you can do it at Indiana, taking over a 3-9, 1-8 Big Ten team, and in 1 year make the playoff, in 2 years win a national championship, well, you look at LSU and say, well, y'all fired Charles Coach in a 7-5 season, or 7-6 technically. You know, after an 8-win season and back-to-back 10-win seasons, and you'd won a national championship 6 years prior, like you're still a winning program. LSU's had one losing record in the last 10 years, where they went 6-7 after the Coach O's final season. They lose the bowl game to go 6-7. Calm down, Christian.
Yep.
And so you're taking over a program that's got a winning tradition, it's got 4 national championships, Heisman winners, the whole thing. The expectations are going to be high. But honestly, would you want anything else?
No, this is what you expected.
Going into next season, would you want anything less than the expectations that are going to be there going into 2026? This is why you make this hire. So you can compete next season. The buy-in to bring in players. I mean, if they close the deal on Seton and Uman Mielen, along with the quarterback room they've put together, the wide receiver room they've put together, the rest of the O-line, retaining Trey Dez and Barry and Durham, defensively Pickett, the other guys, adding key pieces like Benefield, Daughtery, right? I mean, it's a massive portal haul. Not only have you overturned the roster, you've made it drastically better. And the expectations are going to be extremely high, and they should. They 1,000% should be. And as an LSU fan, you shouldn't want anything less. You shouldn't want to go in to next season with the mindset of, well, it's just year one. We'll just see the way it goes. You shouldn't want to have the excuses in your back pocket to prepare for losses, right? You should want to go from the disgusting season we just had to sit through to be ready to sit and support a winner and to get in Tiger Stadium and be excited for premier matchups where you've got Lane Kiffin on the sideline and a hell of a roster put together to deliver wins.
And you're going to get them next season for sure, with the big schedule and all that. Like it's going to be huge for Coach Kiffin to see what happens.
Right.
You can't, considering what's been happening at LSU, and we said this a little bit yesterday, it's the way that the brand is constructed. This is what you're able to do. You're able to go and sign almost 40 players in the transfer portal because there's a universal, it's beneficial for everyone now that LSU has gotten the money right, it feels. And even without, if you don't get Seton, you don't get Prince Umamalele, it's still a good haul. But these are the two pieces that put you over the top, and it's something that the LSU football as a brand is desperate for not a win only off the field, which it feels like you've gotten regardless of how you've been vilified by Lane Kiffin and what he's done in the portal and how everybody talks about it. Ole Miss can't stop thinking about you. But from an LSU perspective, it's been nothing but win after win after win, and you need to compete in year one, and you've seen LSU invest in that because signing 40 players isn't cheap, and signing two guys maybe at the buzzer are both going to be seven-figure guys. There's no bones about it. You're not bargain shopping for a left tackle that is giving up 5 sacks in 2 years. He committed 3 penalties last year. He is a legitimate left tackle.
He's going to be the first tackle off the board.
Right. And so whenever you add that, a guy that at Ole Miss that had 9 sacks, you have 2 starters right at the buzzer that you can add, and they're going to come with a price tag. And at that point, that's why we were saying is don't let money be an issue now.
Right.
You've gotten this far, whatever it takes to get you over the finish line, because this changes your team drastically.
Oh, yeah.
And now it becomes, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, the biggest quarterback question mark is the quarterback, and make sure it's healthy. And then even if that doesn't work, you still have a contingency plan with the 5-star backup.
Right.
And if that doesn't work, you have a quarterback that everybody
You've
wanted
got a
out of.
real
Yeah,
roster.
yeah. You've got. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when your coach cares and tries.
Yep.
And because Brian Kelly had the same financial backing. Now, is it as much? Probably not. But he also didn't have the intent to identify what was actually needed. He just threw money at the problem, and it didn't fix the problem.
Yep.
You see all new staff come in, identify players like Indiana's did of what they actually need, who fits their system. They kicked out talented players on the LSU roster that were already there. They were probably told, you're going to have to compete or you could go somewhere else because we're bringing guys that I think fit the scheme better than you do. Nobody wanted to see Kyle Parker
We're going to
leave.
reevaluate your contract, the whole thing.
All of it.
It had to be rebuilt.
You rebuild this with – Lane Kiffin doesn't come in with all of this hype, with all of this, everything that you've done in the portal for a 8-win season. That would be an abject failure at this point. Now it's college football playoff again, and we're running back the same expectations you had in 2025 with almost – it would seem to be, now that we've been more well-versed in the portal and how it works and how LSU has constructed this team, it is a college football playoff run or bust.
Yep.
What's up?
We're going to take a quick break here, come right back with the LSU women's basketball conversation as they get a huge win on Sunday over Oklahoma, back-to-back ranked wins. And then Zack Nagy will join us right after at 9 a.m.
Wardos was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Branding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or a storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here on this Tuesday morning as we are joined by one of our favorites, Coach Joe Schwartz from LSU Women's Basketball has made his way into the studio this morning as the Tigers have gotten back-to-back ranked wins in the past, a little less than 10 days, 9 days, with wins over Texas and Oklahoma after going on the road to Norman. The city of Norman to win on Sunday. Coach, how was the trip to Norman? Obviously, it's nice to leave with a win, right?
Oh yeah, the trip to Norman was great. It was cold, but we went up there, did what we needed to do, and I don't want to say got back on track because I don't think we were really off track ever. We didn't start conference how we wanted to, but 2 big rank wins back to back, and now we kind of feel like we're settled into conference play. Have a couple opportunities to continue to keep a winning streak going, and then the biggest thing is just keep getting better on a daily basis. And it feels good to win some in a row. Feels good to win on the road. My favorite part about winning on the road, and Coach Starkey and I said it as we were walking into the handshake line after the game, is like Actually, no, we said it in a media timeout before the handshake line, watching all the home fans leave early.
Right.
So always fun to get a
exits.
good road win, and against a ranked team, a good team who's struggling a little bit right now.
Right.
And they get South Carolina on Thursday at home, so going to be another tough one. But that's the league. But yeah, now it's time to get back to work. We were off yesterday, and back to work, get ready for A&M Thursday.
And when we spoke on Friday, you laid out a couple of things y'all were looking for, and I felt like watching the game, y'all did a hell of a job staying on task and on assignment. Played it kind of to a T the way y'all wanted to play. Get to the free throw line, active on defense. If they let them kind of play the offense they want to play, rebound the ball, and do y'all's thing. From y'all's perspective as the coaches, how do y'all feel like the team did? When it comes to staying on assignment and doing the game plan going into it?
I think that's really 3 games in a row now where the level of focus started in practice, and it was a high level of focus, and then you saw some carryover. You saw it in the Texas game, you saw it in the Georgia game, and you saw it in the Oklahoma game. And with 2 of those 3 being on the road, it's kind of hard to expect your team to have an extremely high level of focus going into games like that. But I think the wake-up call was the Kentucky loss, was the Vanderbilt loss. And you don't want to keep going back to those and harping on those losses, but we're hoping to look back in a couple months from now and say, hey, those might have been the 2 best things that happened to us this year, because it struck a nerve that I don't think we were expecting. And to see where your leadership has come from and what has driven that level of focus, I've said it over and over. Flage, Michaela, and Jada, your 3 experienced returners who realized that we got a lot of basketball to play this season. Right. We didn't start conference how we wanted to, and now we got to lock in. And going into the Oklahoma game, same thing. A lot of team-led, captain-initiated things that go into winning, whether it's watching extra film as a team, whether it's going to dinner as a team, whether it's meeting in the team room at the hotel a few minutes before we head to the arena for the game. It's just really small things like that to make sure we're locked in on our matchups, on the scouting report. And we did that. We talked about wanting to dominate the paint. We did a great job dominating the paint. And that's not just outscoring them in the paint. That's rebounding. Oklahoma is the #1 rebounding team in the country. They are very, very good at keeping teams off the boards. And we got offensive rebounds against them. We had I think we outscored them second chance points like 19-11. We got to the foul line a lot. So it's the little things that us coaches see and try and lay out for them in the scouting report and say, hey, this is what we need to do to win. Now, we've given y'all the answers to the test. Now y'all go take the test. Right. And we can only prepare them so much. But I think the biggest thing now, after getting through this first 5-game stretch, is not looking ahead to the next 5. It's looking ahead one at a time. You don't want to ever bunch it all together where we think we need to go win these next 4. Let's go one at a time, get better each day in practice. Doesn't matter who we play, because there's still a lot of things that we can get better on as a team moving forward.
Flage Johnson in the win, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks and a steal, 3 assists as well, active all over the floor. And I thought did a great job, not only, obviously playing, but leading, especially when you're, like you said, you're going on the road, you're going to look towards those older, experienced players. And I thought you really saw that from Flage on Sunday. You
did. And that's the I don't want to say vintage Flage, but that's the Flage that we've kind of been waiting to see.
Yeah.
Struggled a little bit out of the gates in conference play. And not from a statistics standpoint. She is a great player. There's no doubt about it. One trap she kind of falls into sometimes is not letting the game come to her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And by that, I mean she forces a lot of shots early. And I say a lot. In games where she does not let the game come to her, you will see her force a shot or 2 early, or try and dribble too much and get herself in trouble. When Flage lets the game come to her, oh man, it's a sight to see. She is very fluid. She gets into a rhythm.
Yes.
And you saw that early. We didn't start the game well in Norman. They got out, I think it was a 12-3 start, and Coach looked at the bench. I'm not calling a timeout. So we'll figure it out. And if we don't, it could be 17-2. The way Oklahoma plays, they score in bunches. They shoot a lot of threes. They're quick in transition. But a lot of it, again, was on us. OU hit some shots early, but we lost people in transition. We didn't get back into the paint, and then when you don't get back in the paint, they could get an over-the-top layup. And then if you have too many back in the paint and you don't fan out, they can hit some outside shots. And that's exactly what happened the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game. We got down, and then you see your leaders step up with Flage and Michaela and Malaysia. But I think the one that is now starting to get some praise is who we've all been waiting on.
100%.
Really the past 2 years, who everyone has talked about, LSU doesn't have a true point guard. And you're starting to see that emerge with Jada Richard. I think this team will continue to excel and progress as Jada does.
Yes, I
and
agree.
The fact that she has jumped into that role is awesome. I think Kim will say it. She coaches better when she has a true point guard on the court. And there's nothing against the players that we've brought in the past couple of years to play point guard, but someone now who has been in Kim's system for almost 2 full years, who was around our program a lot in high school. I mean, she's a Louisiana kid. She understands now what Coach expects, and that's taken a lot of pressure off Malaysia. It's allowed Malaysia to play off the ball. We love our matchups on the court when we have Jada, Lay, and then either Michaela and Flage on the other wing, or we went real small against Oklahoma where you had Jada, Malaysia, Flage, and then we moved Michaela to the 4 based on matchups. So having a true point guard now allows Malaysia to do what she does best, and I think that's play off the ball. I think when she's off the ball, not having to worry about getting the team settled, she can lock in on defense. She can score the ball, but that doesn't take away from what she does best, and that's run in transition. Malaysia, when you get in, maybe we can take Jada off their best player or their point guard for a few minutes, let you go guard her. And you saw what she did when I think we got up 24, it got back down to 13, 2 steals back-to-back when we put Lay on the ball. So having a true point guard now and someone that you have a lot of confidence in, it makes things – I don't want to say it makes things easier because substitutions get harder because you got to figure out who to play with who. But we know what to expect now. And go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like things start to fall in line, when you check that box. I'll compare it to LSU baseball a little bit. Last year, there's a lot of conversation around the lineup, and it was like, what's it going to look like? Derek Curiel grabs a hold of that leadoff spot, and then everything else just kind of fell in line behind it. With a point guard, when you have that spot solidified, everything else kind of falls in line, kind of to your point.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But knowing that Kim Mulkey was a point guard, you can now start to see flashes in Jada Richard, who's only a sophomore. That's the scary part. She's only a sophomore, so she's got a lot more room for improvement. But like you said, things fall into place.
Yeah.
When we seem like we're scrambling, or it gets late in the shot clock, or late in the game when we have a lead and everything's frantic, you now have someone that can just put that ball under her arm and say, calm down, let's get into what we're going to run, let's chill, relax, and let's execute. Without us having to burn timeouts or without us having to yell and scream. It's nice to see someone with a lot of composure but still able to go out there and execute exactly what we want to do. And it's not like she's been doing it against bad teams. I mean, she's guarded some of the best players. You're talking Rory Harmon at Texas. Georgia had some really good guards. Kentucky was a little different story. Tony Morgan had a lot against us. But Jada's the type of competitor – I think she'd want to see Morgan and Michaela Blake's again in the SEC tournament and say, all right, y'all got it the first time, but let's go around and do it the second time. And then up to Norman, Peyton Verhulst and Aaliyah Chavez, 2 of the best guards in the SEC. She did a pretty good job on them as well.
100%. And that's what I want to ask you, from your perspective as a coach, right, when you bring in a talented freshman like that, and, especially someone in state. So the fan base wants to see them early. They want to get on the court early. But from y'all's perspective, there's obviously things that you want to see before that happens, and the development you've gotten to see from kind of a front row perspective of Jada Richard from last year through the season, through the offseason to now, and even to me, kind of to your point, just through SEC play from the first 2 games and the way she's responded since then in the development there. What have you seen growth in her game, and really from the coaches' perspectives, what did y'all want to see develop really going into this season?
Well, I think the biggest thing was confidence.
Yeah.
That's why we recruited Jada. In-state kid, probably underrated, underranked, whatever you want to call it. What'd she win, 4 state championships in high school at Lafayette Christian?
Yeah.
Like, the kid can play and was on the court a lot and could score the ball from everywhere in high school. When she came to LSU, she knew that role may be a little bit different, and it wasn't going to be immediately because of what we had previously, the guards that we had brought in the transfer portal. But to my point of playing from your freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, seeing the court all 4 years in high school, Jada's the type of kid that's not going to be okay with not playing. So she had to figure out how she was going to get better,
right,
and how she was going to jump into a role in which she could excel, and that was going to be our point guard. So now that she's found her role and is starting to embrace it, it's making everyone around her better.
Yeah.
And that started last year, I think, right when the season ended. The easy thing to do now is get in the portal. I mean, you don't play your freshman year. Oh, well, these coaches brought me here. Yep. They promise. We don't promise anything. We don't promise playing time. We don't promise championships. We promise a degree. If you stay with Kim in Kim's program for 4 years, you're going to get a degree. She's 100% graduation rate for kids who finish their careers with her.
Right.
So that's the only thing we'll promise you is an education and a degree. Everything else you got to go get. So when the season ended last year, once again in an Elite Eight, bad taste in our mouth, I think you look at Flage, Michaela, and Jada, and it's like, hey, we got to come on.
Yeah.
But it's going to start with Jada because we don't want Michaela to have to play point guard for 30 minutes a game.
Right.
We don't want Flage to have to get out of what she's comfortable doing on the wing and move her to a predominantly ball in her hand type of guard. So Jada really embraced that role this offseason, and you really started to see her take leaps this summer. Started in defensive conditioning.
Right.
We did a lot of that without a basketball this summer. She was always vocal. She was always trying to win every drill. Jada's not the fastest kid. She's not the quickest kid. She knows that. But what she lacks in certain areas, she makes up for in leadership. And that's hard to see or expect as a coach when a kid hasn't played for a year. So Jada didn't play much last year, so we're sitting back this summer like, okay, she's got some of the qualities, but now let's see if that'll carry over to the court. And you saw it a little bit during non-conference, but I think it's more exciting to see against really good competition in the SEC, which is the best conference in college basketball. And I think the joy you're seeing on her teammates' faces because our players know how bad Jada's wanted this, and they know how good Jada can be, and now being able to see her reap the benefits from all the hard work she put in the offseason makes everyone happy, and it's a joy to be around. But like I said, it's scary. She's only a sophomore.
Right.
So she's got a lot of room for improvement and growth. And if she stays the course and continues to learn what coach wants at all times, you look by her junior and senior year, things could get real special for her.
No, 100%.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The last time LSU and Kim Mulkey had a predominant point guard, what happened?
National championship.
Yep. And you can see that with Jada Richard makes that leap, which it feels like she has. Whenever, like Noah was saying, everything kind of falls into place. But to have that, and it's something you've been searching for since Alexis Morris left, and you saw what she did, whether it was against Iowa having to guard Caitlin Clark, and then would have the energy to play the defensive side, and then when it became the fourth quarter, her offense showed up.
Yeah.
And then when you have a true point guard like you do with Jada Richard, it puts everybody in the spot that they're supposed to be in, and it almost looks like it becomes a little kind of easy on the offensive end.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a floor general who can guard the opposing team's best player and get your team shots they need at the right time, we say on time, on target, deliver passes, but also hit some shots.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexis Morris our national championship year, her ability to get to her spot and hit that mid-range.
It's the game.
Yes. And you saw it a few times against Oklahoma. You saw it against Texas. Jada's not afraid to shoot the ball. I think she's learning now when the right time to shoot the ball is. We're okay with her shooting. But what she's got to understand is when Michaela's coming off a screen or Flage's coming off screen, hey, you can't be looking for your shot right there. Because we're running stuff on purpose to get Flage and Michaela involved. Or Lay, if she's off the ball, get her something going to the rim. Or what's even cooler now is when you have Jada and Malaysia on the court at the same time, we can run certain sets for each kid. So, Lay, we may want you to take the ball up a couple times, let Jada play the wing. And when you've got players that are interchangeable, like Lloyd said, it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it easier on the coaching staff because we're still trying to get kids in the game.
Right.
But it's hard to take kids off the floor when things are going well. Yeah. And against Oklahoma, we started a little bit slow, but then you look up and we go on an 11-0 run or an 8-2 run, and it's like, all right, we want to stick with what's working. So it's been fun to see. I'm excited for the rest of conference because, like we said, we don't want to be playing our best basketball right now. We feel like we're in a good groove right now. Things are going well, but it's scary watching two ranked wins back-to-back, and then it's like we can still do a lot more, and we can be a lot better if we clean a few things up.
You know what the recipe for success is that you do against Oklahoma? It's a win every quarter. You won the first quarter 24-16, won the second quarter 21-19, won the third quarter 25-17, fourth quarter 21-20. Usually you'll win if that happens. I don't see a way in which you can lose.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But I think to that point, we got down big in that first quarter, but we ended it on a 20-3 run.
Yep.
And when we talk about it a lot as a staff, kills. That Lloyd's known about kills for years now.
Yes.
I think we're 27-0 when we have 8 or more kills in conference games. Well, 9 kills against Oklahoma. It's 27 empty possessions. So, first quarter, 4 kills. And they started the game extremely hot. They scored, I think, 4 of their first 5 or 6 buckets, 12-3. Oh, after that, they didn't really score until the last, I think, minute or 2 minutes left in the quarter because we were getting stops after stops after stops. And not only were we getting stops on the defensive end, but we were turning them into buckets on the offensive end. And when you do that, that's a sight to see. And like Lloyd said, if you win every quarter,
you usually win the game.
100% chance you're going to win the game. So,
and to y'all's credit, I mean, going on the road, getting to the line the amount of times y'all did, but getting to the line is one thing. Once you get there, you got to capitalize. You got to make the free throws.
Yep.
And going 29 of 33 from the line on the road, obviously that was a focus for y'all to get to the free throw line. But a credit to y'all and the players for getting there, capitalizing, because 91 points with only 4 made threes, so that's 12 points, is extremely impressive.
Yeah, I think we've put a big emphasis on free throws on both ends, honestly. Not putting teams on the foul line, us getting to the foul line, us making free throws, and then more importantly, us boxing out when teams miss free throws.
Yeah.
We lost a couple early because of missed free throw blockouts. In the Kentucky game and in the Vanderbilt game, we gave up a couple that led to some big shots in those 2 games. So getting to the foul line has been a point of emphasis. It's something that in previous years Kim Mulkey teams have done very well. We've had players that were able to get to the line, whether it was Anissa Mora, whether it was Angel Reese. But now you're starting to see it emerge with Michaela Williams.
Yep.
I don't want to say she's like James Harden because I think, or Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like those guys that they live at the free throw line. It's their style of play. I think Michaela can score at all 3 levels, but what's so impressive, when she really is determined to get a bucket, she's going to make sure she gets a bucket, whether it's a jump shot, whether it's a crossover and maybe go get a layup or get to the foul line. And it's also scary that Michaela had an off night the other night,
right?
But was still able to get to the foul line. We posted her up a little bit because of some mismatches. But Michaela was playing with no pressure because look what Flage did. Look what Jada Richard did. Look what Malaysia did. So it's like when your guards are having an off night, figure out how you can continue to be involved. So
Right.
Michaela was missing some shots that she normally makes. Okay, if y'all want to keep getting me the ball, I gotta figure out how I can help y'all. So it was get to the foul line. And she did a good job of that. She did a good job of that against Texas. But a lot of that starts with point guard play, knowing that Michaela has a mismatch.
Right.
So, Jada, deliver the ball to Michaela at her spot and let her go to work. And I think you're starting to see some good chemistry on the court. We know this team has good chemistry off the court. That's never been a question.
Right,
But sometimes those teams with really good chemistry off the court, it doesn't carry over. So you're seeing that carryover on the court now. And we've seen it all year, but I'm saying now in conference play against really good competition, you're seeing it. So it's exciting. And I think you'll continue to see it through these next couple games. But the other point of emphasis was paint points, and I want to give some credit to our post play because they did a really good job against Big Reagan Beers. I mean, that girl, she's a monster in the paint.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, we appreciate you making your way in this morning. Obviously, y'all hit the road. What, y'all going to roll out on Wednesday?
Yep, we'll leave.
Game on Thursday?
Yeah, I think we're leaving tomorrow. Late game on Thursday. I think it's an 8 o'clock
8 p.m.
game. 8 p.m. tip down in the Lone Star State.
SEC Network.
It is televised?
It is.
Okay.
There we go. SEC Network, Thursday night, 8 p.m. before the Tigers head back home for a 3-game home stretch to probably some packed houses in the PMAC.
Yeah, I think 3 games in 7 days. I think it's Monday, Thursday, Sunday after that. So,
be a fun stretch.
Winnable games if we lock in. But I think the last thing is our level of focus has to be the same for these next 4 opponents as
like they were the last two.
Like it was against the last 2.
Yep.
Because we've seen it. Mississippi State beats Kentucky the other night. Auburn beats Alabama the other night.
That's what makes you an elite team.
Georgia beats Ole Miss by 23. Like, anything can happen in this league if you don't show up. And it's harder to win on the road. So we're not taking any of these teams for granted. Get back in the film room today on the court and try and get one in College Station, another school that I don't like.
There you go.
Yes.
So here we got the Coach Schwartz stretch here, Oklahoma and A&M.
Oh yeah.
Well, Texas, Oklahoma, A&M.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate you making your way in. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. See y'all.
We'll take a quick break here. Come right back with Zack Nagy to talk LSU football right after this.
Did we get Seaton?
Seems to be moving.
Ward Brannick III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality. When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here as we get back.
Oh,
to
no,
the
no,
Echo.
no, no, no,
You
no, no, no.
I believe in you, Lloyd.
Got it.
There it is. Problem solved. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here as we get back to the LSU football conversation. We appreciate Coach Schwartz making his way in as the Tigers head to College Station on Thursday. But it's still LSU football time. Even though the season's been over, it is still all about LSU football right now. And we've got Zack Nagy from Sports Illustrated joining us. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, good morning, fellas. We got a lot to talk about. It's been a crazy, crazy stretch over this last week. I mean, last time we spoke, there was a lot of buzz on the O-line. They basically reconstructed that unit, and it seems like they're not done yet.
Yeah, I mean, we got off the air on Friday, and we've even pushed our time back here from 7 to 9 to 8 to 10 because it used to always be we end at 9, news breaks at 9:30. So we've pushed it back, and we still try to get some of the news. But we get off the air at 10. I leave the studio at 11, and they end up bringing in like 8 recruits on Friday. Commitments on the offensive line, Mansour's younger brother, Fahim, and they made all these additions, and it's only gotten crazier as the weekend's gone on. Are you surprised that it might be the most hectic time of the transfer portal after the portal's officially closed last Friday?
That's college football for you.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it doesn't stop. I mean, when you look at what they've done already to this point before it closed, they dominated. I mean, 30-plus editions, and then you look at what they've done, obviously assembling the #1 class in America. Now it's closed, and you got to put the final touches on it right now, and we're starting to see Lane Kiffin and company start to pick up some momentum on that front. So am I surprised? No. Like Lloyd said, man, this is college football now. It doesn't stop. There's always buzz consistently. Portal window's closed, but, man, those opportunities to still get guys in this class is big time.
And I want to ask you, just for maybe a little bit of clarification, if you know, the calendar, I think, is something that a lot of people are still confused on. It seems very, just not very, I'm not going to say organized, but there's not like a strict structure to it as much as maybe you'd like or expect. It closes on Friday, but there's still kind of this window of yesterday. Obviously, it was a federal holiday, so schools weren't open. And so today, when the NCAA opens back up, there could be more portal additions due to people putting in their paperwork before Friday ended, but over the weekend and Monday and all this. And then LSU with their spring semester deadline. What is the structure of this calendar, just to inform the fan base around LSU?
Yeah, so once you enter kind of the portal and you put your name in that market, you have a 48-hour window for your school to put your name in the database. So if you put your name in the portal on Friday at 11:59 p.m., the school has 2 business days to put you in the portal. So you might not see guys get in the portal till Wednesday. No, it could take some time on that front. So you'll see some today. There will be a lot of guys that officially enter the portal today, and we'll see how LSU kind of operates on that front, because we know the 2 guys that they want. I mean, we know that's kind of obvious at this point, but you have to see guys officially get in the portal first, and I think that's what we'll start to see over the next, let's say, 24 hours.
And obviously you have an interesting perspective or point of view with the Uman Mielen situation, where you cover it from the Ole Miss and the LSU side. What's the situation there, and what direction do you see it heading at the current standing?
Yeah, it's just such a unique one, just because they don't want him to go. I mean, they're contesting it. This is their sack leader. This is a guy who had 9 sacks last season, dominated in the trenches for them, and was a true component to what they were going to be building in 2026. So they wanted to see him stay. And of course, there's going to be agents and whatnot operating behind the scenes to try to make things happen. But from what my understanding is that this guy will likely end in the portal. And there's other ways to get from one school to the other and other ways to navigate this thing. But my understanding would be that, this guy is so coveted and LSU is willing to go all out to get him. It would be hard for me to envision him not ending up in the purple and gold in 2026.
And then obviously the other name right now is Jordan Seaton, the number 1 offensive lineman in the portal. And when we talked about last time, we talked about how expensive that would potentially be to bring in a guy like Seaton, especially with the money LSU has already spent. Where do you see that heading? It was obviously yesterday was a big day where the dinner was canceled, but he ended up not leaving Baton Rouge and stayed in Louisiana and didn't make the trip to Oregon yesterday. What direction do you see the Jordan Seaton recruitment heading?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I mean, we spoke, 96-ish hours ago.
Right.
And during that conversation, we were talking about Sean Tompkins, Devin Harper, and all these pieces that we expected to join the mix. And my initial reaction was, yeah, you go and get probably 2 to 3 guys with the money that you would be spending on Jordan Seaton. And now, here we are Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., and LSU's picking up a ton of momentum here for Jordan Seaton, a guy that they're willing to break the bank for. So I think a lot of people thought that this roster would hover around 25 to 30 million, but man, the additions that they're making, it's hard for me to not envision it being more. So if you go out and land a guy like Jordan Seaton, it proves that LSU's kind of arrived in the NIL space and that they're willing to hang with the big boys like Oregon, Miami, Texas, etc. They can break the bank for some big-time players. So as of right now, 9 a.m. on Tuesday, it's hard for me to not feel confident in where LSU sits for Jordan Seaton. This is that missing piece to a championship caliber roster. You put him at that left tackle spot, a plug-and-play guy. It's hard to not think, man, this team's going to be competing for a college football playoff spot in 2026. So I feel pretty strong about where LSU sits. This is a guy that's been in town for a multi-day stay, did not make that Oregon trip yesterday, as Matt Moscona reported last night. So this is one man they're swinging for the fences for. They're going all out. It's hard for me to not envision them ultimately having him in this transfer portal class.
Whenever you get to cover both sides of this saga that is embroiled between LSU and Ole Miss. Obviously, LSU feels like they very much won the offseason, whether it be getting Lane Kiffin, the coaching staff, some of the players that they pulled out of the portal, and now it feels like the very considered effort to get some players from the Ole Miss side. What is the overall vibe going around at the Ole Miss Rebs and how this whole thing is shaken out?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question. I think they feel like they continue to replace and reload. You lose pieces, but you continue to add. And LSU obviously is the number 1 transfer portal class in America, but my goodness, man, Ole Miss is right there at number 2. I know that there's a wide margin, but when you look at the numbers, Ole Miss has only stacked probably 25 guys in their portal haul, while LSU's hovering closer to 40 at this point. So Ole Miss has done a really good job about reloading, and I know LSU fans don't want to hear that. I know that my mentions and DMs and whatnot have been just getting blown up with LSU fans hating Ole Miss fans hating LSU. So obviously LSU fans don't want to hear that. But Pete Golding and them have done a really good job of reloading this roster for the 2026 season. So surely they've lost some big-time pieces in Caden Lee, They've lost, of course, Austin Simmons to the portal, etc. They've gone out and replaced those guys with really strong additions. Deuce Knight, former 5-star quarterback. Darryl Gill Jr., top 10 wide receiver in the portal coming in from Syracuse. Another former 5-star wide receiver in Jonte Cook last week. So they've done a really good job at reloading that roster. Surely they've lost some pieces, but I'll tell you what, man, they've done a good job at reloading it.
And when you look at kind of to your point from the last question, when you look at LSU's roster, if they do close and get Uman Mielen and Seton, and you look at that, the haul they've put together, whether it's high school recruiting, the guys they've retained, and now the portal class, when you look at that roster, where's the hole? Where do you see maybe like you can point out? Because as of right now, if you don't land Seton, you would go, okay, well they still have question marks around O-line potentially. If they don't land Uman Mielen, it's like maybe they don't have that big time edge rusher. They get both of those guys. To me, it feels like there's not really a weakness as of right now.
Yeah, if they get both those guys, shit. I'll tell you what, man, like you're looking at a championship caliber roster. I mean, I know that everybody makes the joke, this team looks good on paper, but the game is played on grass. So this team on paper is going to be really, really talented, man. I mean, top to bottom, it's hard for me to not say that this isn't a championship caliber roster. The money that you put into it, the resources that you put into it, and the effort that you put into it. I mean, Lane Kiffin flew to Knoxville, oh my God, to go get Sam Leavitt in between a Tennessee and Miami visit. So a ton of effort and time, et cetera, went into this roster. This is a dominant team from top to bottom. If you go out and close with Jordan Seton, if you go out and close with Uman Mielen, that fixes those two holes, man. It's hard for me to look at a spot on this roster and think, maybe they have a weakness in this spot. No, because the only other one that I thought that they might have had that in was that linebacker, and you go and get the SEC leading tackler in TJ Daugherty. So, man, it would be hard for me to not envision this team not being in the conversation for a college football playoff berth next year. But you got to go out and get them to gel. Yeah. It's a ton of new faces. This is over 50 newcomers on a roster if you're including the high school class. So it's a good team on paper. You just got to get them to gel, and you got to close first, and then we can have that conversation. But shit, it'd be tough, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think to me, and this was kind of my point earlier in the show, was I don't feel like Lane Kiffin really had a choice but to go out and dominate the offseason the way they have, and to go all in on 2026 with just the narratives that are going to live around it, right? With the Ole Miss narrative, the pushback there, the way he left, the fact that they go to the semis in the playoff, and then the job Cignetti's done at Indiana of turning around in 2 years you're a national champion after going 3-9 in 2023. With those things working against Lane, it was this offseason you had to go all in, right? You had to go and make the noise you've made to be a competitor and have this national championship level roster going into 2026, right?
Yeah, I think in this new era, there's really no time to waste.
Yeah.
You're in a new era where you can rebuild a roster overnight, and it's what Lane Kiffin's done. I mean, he's only had the job for 50-ish days, and the things that he's achieved in that kind of stretch is remarkable. I mean, new coaching staff, top recruiting class, top 15 recruiting class, where you sign 2 5-stars, including the number 1 player in the country. You hit the portal, and you go out and you get the number 1 portal class and revamp it in a big way. I mean, you have 7 top 100 signees in this class, 4 top 50 wide receivers. I mean, the list goes on and on. So what he's done in that short period is remarkable. He's gone out and dominated, and he's rebuilt this roster overnight. I mean, we're talking 50-plus newcomers on one roster.
Yeah.
There's not many teams that have done that other than maybe Deion Sanders in his first year at Colorado, and a handful of others that have kind of flown under the radar. So it's a crazy, crazy stretch for Lane Kiffin and them, and it proves that you can rebuild a team overnight with the portal, and you can compete for a national title within 1 to 2 years of taking on a new job. So, yeah, Lane Kiffin's going to have championship expectations every year that he's here. It's going to start in year 1, and when you go out and put together the resources to build this roster, there's nothing short of championship expectations. I mean, this team is expensive, this team is talented, and now you got to get him to gel really quickly. And we've seen Lane Kiffin succeed at that during his time in Oxford. Now he's got to carry that momentum in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, 100%. And two, kind of in your honey hole as well as you cover LSU and Ole Miss, the Tigers add two more former Rebels to the roster last Friday in Devin Harper and TJ Daugherty. You've talked about them a little bit, but what are LSU fans getting in those two additions from Oxford?
Yeah, TJ Daugherty's a gamer. I mean, this is a guy who's super talented and is really going to complement Whit Weeks at the second level really well. He's a surefire tackler, a guy who's smart. He wore the green dot for Ole Miss on defense. So this is the guy who's funneling in the plays to the team. So a really respected player in the locker room, too. You got to love the TJ Daugherty addition. That's a really big one to give this defense a boost at the second level of defense. So a big one there. I'm a big fan of Daugherty and what he can provide this team. And then Devin Harper. This is a youngster with 4 years of eligibility, so even if he doesn't come in and make a splash in year one, the multiple years of eligibility aspect is one that this coaching staff has been looking for in their additions. They're always going to have the one-year rental in this new era, but when you look at the additions from top to bottom, most of them have multiple years of eligibility, and Devin Harper's one of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in year one and pushes somebody for a starting job on that O-line, but even if he doesn't, man, you have so much time to build him up and kind of get him to that next spot that he needs to be. Eric Wolford's a coach that has a ton of experience in developing players. LSU has struggled from a developmental aspect over the last couple of years in the trenches. Devin Harper is one that A, can develop, but B, also try to push some guys in year one. Watching him in spring camp is going to be fun. So Louisiana native, was formerly committed to LSU during his high school career. He's back now, finally repping the purple and gold. It's going to be fun to watch Devin Harper over the next couple of years at LSU.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for spring football to get here in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's a 10. You look at this team and the talent that they have. Watching it come together is where I'm going to have the most kind of intrigue. It's easy to go out and get a ton of talent and compile that onto one roster, but getting it to gel is another thing. And Lane Kiffin and this coaching staff have a tough task to do that, but it's going to be fun to watch it in spring camp kind of unfold. I mean, you're going to have Hassan Longstreet taking most of those QB1 reps as Sam Leavitt recovers from the foot injury. 1-2 punch of Harlem Berry, Caden Durham, a whole new wide receiver haul. Defense, you revamp the defensive line, added in the secondary. It's going to be hard, man. I'm going to be sitting there holding that little roster, just like trying to figure out who's who because, shoot, man, we don't know anybody. So it's going to take some time to kind of figure out who's who wears what number. I'll tell you what, it's going to be exciting to watch it unfold.
Yeah, give me a portal sheet and then the old roster sheet, and let's see what we do.
Right.
Like, that's what we'll need. But when you say like LSU and what they've added, you've seen, obviously, you get Prince Will, allegedly, maybe, from LSU to come. What comes with 9 sacks for Ole Miss. You see what they add in TJ Daugherty, and now you see if they're able to add Seton on the left tackle. It kind of puts all the pieces together. And we were having the conversation of, if you are to get those pieces, what becomes your biggest question mark at LSU and what they need to do in 2026?
Yeah, it's gel. I mean, the talent's there.
Yeah.
Like, there's not very many missing pieces on that roster. You went out and addressed depth. You went out and addressed the star-studded players that you need. Now, I mean, that main question comes in getting it to gel. And Lane Kiffin's done that really well during his time in Oxford. But again, you got to make it happen in Baton Rouge where the lights are brighter. So for me, when you look at a quote-unquote hole or what's kind of next for them after these next portal moves, if they can get them over the finish line, man, it's just about getting them to gel. Because from a talent perspective, you have one of the best teams in the country on paper, like we've said a couple of times here. But you got to get them to click. And it's going to take some time. Like spring ball, it might not be the most fun in the world just because they have to try to get them to click. But fast forward to fall camp, and this team has to be clicking on all cylinders. That's where it's going to get really exciting because you'll have Sam Leavitt back healthy. You'll have all your guys good to go. You'll have a Lamar Brown making his way to campus as a summer enrollee since he didn't early enroll. So you're going to have this complete roster. That's where it's going to get fun. But the kind of question mark for me is getting all this talent to move as one because, my gosh, it's expensive. And a lot of guys are coming in and having to make some noise as immediate impact players. It's going to be interesting to see how that kind of unfolds.
Yeah, because that's, you kind of hit on what we finally fell on an answer was it was the quarterback room. It was Sam Leavitt. Maybe we're a little gun shy because of what just happened whenever you felt like you had all the pieces in place going into spring football, and you kind of looked at the roster and what they did in the portal. You're like, okay, this can be immediately a team that can contend for a college football playoff spot. You lose your quarterback, and now you're going into the 2026 season with question marks at quarterback and health again.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a good question just because, yeah, he's going to be battling injury during spring camp, but this is one where LSU's training staff medically evaluated him. They feel like this is a guy that could really take that next step even after he recovers. and in your back pocket, you have a former 5-star in Hassan Longstreet. Like, for me, I think we love Michael Van Buren. This is a guy who showed flashes, but he wasn't the guy. Hassan Longstreet is a guy. He gives me Russell Wilson flashes. So, yes, you're going to have question marks at Sam Leavitt as he recovers from this foot injury. But at the same time, you have a former 5-star in your back pocket in Hassan Longstreet, too. So there are question marks for me, of course, about Sam when it comes to his health. But they evaluated him. Lane Kiffin wanted him. And they ultimately said, hey, this is a guy that we think is going to be good to go next fall and ready to rock out with us. I trust Lane Kiffin's judgment way more than mine when it comes to the quarterback room, because I believe in Sam Leavitt, but it's clear Lane Kiffin believes in him even more. So for me, I'm good to go there. And look, if he deals with something that's nagging, you have Hassan Longstreet in your back pocket. So yeah, I will never, ever question Lane Kiffin at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm going to get to work when spring football gets here and I get that first roster. I'm going to make a Quizlet for the entire LSU media so we can just flip who's number 4 on defense, flip the card. There you go, you got the name. So we can all learn it together because it is going to be quite the challenge. But we appreciate your time this morning and all the insight. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, for sure, fellas. I appreciate y'all. You have a good one.
Yep, you too. There he is, Zack Nagy, obviously one of the hardest working men in media right now, because he's covering LSU and Ole Miss for Sports Illustrated. Is probably the most interesting spot to be in when you talk about working in the media, where you've got, like you said, his mentions just filled with this side mad at that side and that side mad at this side.
I mean, it's the most optimistic fan base in the country and the most pessimistic fan base in the country.
It's literally like if you were at work, you were the beat writer for like the Real Housewives of whoever, right? Because it's literally a reality show between these two programs.
Never a slow news day.
No, not for Zack Nagy, that's for sure. We appreciate him making his way in this morning. But yeah, no, I mean the roster they've put together. Zach's response when I asked him about the expectations. Roster, yeah, I mean that encapsulates it all.
Yeah,
I mean as an LSU fan and as someone that just covers the program, I mean it is literally beyond impressive what they've done this offseason, the roster they've been able to build, and it's not done yet.
That's what I think puts it over the top.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, if we stop it right now, they don't add those two, really good roster, expectations are still going to be very high. You get across the finish line with those two guys, and you fill the role of guy that had 9 sacks last year off the edge, and you to the point of Jada Richard in women's basketball, you get your point guard, everything else falls in line. Or the offensive line, you get your left tackle, everyone else kind of falls into their spot. It would be, absolutely massive if they're able to get across the finish line there and what this roster and the expectations going into next year. And I think it's really been a breath of fresh air for the LSU fan base, right? Because when you look at the biggest knock against the last tenure, the last era of coaching at LSU, it felt like got the bag, got your retirement check, and just kind of mailed it in, right? And there was always going to be fear anytime you had a big contract given to a coach. It could always be, well, how bought in are they going to be now that they've got this $13 million a year contract, $10 million a year contract with all of it guaranteed in a buyout? How bought in are they to actually get the job done? And Lane Kiffin has absolutely answered that question in just like Zach said, the first 2-ish months on the job. How bought in is he? He's pretty bought in, right? Not only from the social media perspective and the PR of it all, but getting on the plane and getting to Knoxville to seal the deal there, going all in and having the fundraising and the job they've done from a front office standpoint to have the money ready for all these guys to check these boxes. There is no mailing it in. Like, this is bought in, all in, and making it happen. And really, I sit back and I think about it, and Ole Miss fans had a lot of things to say about Lane Kiffin and, how hard of a worker is he really? And it was actually Pete Golding the whole time. And it's not, it's not Lane. He's just kind of this spoiled prodigy that doesn't really care that much about what's going on And it's just been the complete opposite since he stepped foot in Baton Rouge. Everything that's been said is just wrong, right? And of course, it's a scorned lover, and I get it. But I would also credit a little bit of the hard work and everything to he's got a chip on his shoulder. One of the biggest question marks is going to be like, okay, what does he have to prove? What's the chip on his shoulder going to be now that he's got this big contract? He's got the destination job as the head coach at LSU. The chip on his shoulder is what's going on right down the street. What's going on from a national media perspective. Everything that's being said about the man, right? Everyone criticizing his decision and what he's done over the last couple of months. Well, now he's got a chip on his shoulder, right? And he's got something to prove going into 2026 and going into his tenure as LSU's coach. So honestly, as of right now, I appreciate the national media perspective of creating a villain out of Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss fan base and the way they've pushed back and, really disrespected Lane Kiffin the way they have.
Stoked
because
the fire.
there is now a chip on that man's shoulder and the run that has been gone on. Just from an off-season perspective, football games have not been played yet, so we're not going to talk. We'll get there when we get there. From everything you've seen up to this point, you want he works his tail off to get the DC back, and they make the money happen there. So you keep Blake Baker, you keep that staff. You've got to fill certain roles. He gets, majority of his offensive staff over from Ole Miss. You need to close on Richard Anderson, Lamar Brown, and Deuce Geralds. There's question marks there. Gets that job done. Aiden Hall, he's staying in the recruiting class. You sign those guys, and then you look towards the transfer portal. They put together the number one class. They get the number one quarterback, potentially one of the top edge rushers and the number one offensive lineman. And then also from a retention of the roster, they keep your former 5-star running back. You keep your former 5-star cornerback. You keep Whit Weeks from going to the draft to stay and play for his father-in-law, right? You hold on to all these pieces. Trey Green, all right? You keep all these important pieces. The job they've done up to this point is just beyond impressive and has really, like I said, has been a breath of fresh air for LSU fans.
And I think another thing is it gives LSU fans like a feeling of hope also. Like after this past year, you have all these expectations, Heisman candidates, all this, and then it just,
you fell flat on your face.
Hits the fan, and you get kind of a little bit nervous about what the future is, and then you get rid of Brian Kelly and you get in Coach Kiffin, and you're really unsure of how everything's going to pan out. And I think just the way he's bought in allows fans to really embrace that total buy-in and embrace the change, embrace what's coming to Baton Rouge.
When you look at I couldn't imagine trying to run into the 2026 season and run it back with Brian Kelly. I don't think the sense of optimism would be nearly as high as it is right now. But when you look at since that decision, I would say that was the first good decision they've made.
Right.
They haven't missed.
We're going on a run here.
When you look at the people that they've added, the players that they've added, the coaches they've added, you can say that if there was one miss, it's Kawan Lacey. One that you expected to get that you didn't.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise there was the fact that they beat Georgia. I think if they don't beat Georgia, different conversation.
I think the first one was Sorsby, but it didn't end up mattering.
See, but I don't think
you were just
you
that
really
was you were in the game.
Him and the who was the other guy that came on the visit, took a picture in the sweatsuit with Lane? Was that the
Chaz Coleman, the
edge
rusher from
I guess those were the two. Sorsby felt like it because he did the whole thing on social media, so it was kind of like, oh, he's not coming. It didn't end up mattering though. So.
Right, I thought Sorsby was Texas Tech the whole time. Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I think to the common fan,
there was a perspective shift. I'd say from outside the LSU fan base, from like the national just college football fans, where it looked like LSU was kind of sitting there like, what are they really doing? Right? Yeah. They've got a wide receiver from Hawaii and Old Dominion, and they haven't gotten anyone from Ole Miss's roster, and Sorsby's not coming. They pissed off Leavitt. Just go to. It looked like for a minute there, it wasn't going right, and then you fast forward just a couple of weeks, and it is absolutely dominant the run they've gone on.
And then you see the other side, the other tip of the spear. Hunter Hall, 9 out of 10 Power 4 teams from this season playoffs ranked in the top 12. Bama ranked at 21.
I think they're hating on Bama a bit much.
Well, it's the same thing whenever the Lane Kiffin narrative started to build whenever he was not coaching in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
What was the easiest thing to do? What was the lowest hanging fruit? It's to bang on Lane Kiffin. Now everybody's looking at Alabama as they're no longer the preeminent power in college football. It's like, well, everybody wants to throw their stones at the glass house now because they're not who they used to be because Nick Saban's gone. So they're still we're in the college football playoff the last 2 years, right? And now it's like, oh, Bama 21.
Yeah, no, I mean it's
And won a game this year.
when they pile it on, they pile it on when it gets rough.
They got
And
Mendoza.
That's where it's at right now, and it's going to be very interesting to see the SEC dynamics because now, right? What is this? This is 3 straight years of Big Ten national champions and 3 different teams, right? It's been Michigan, it's been Ohio State, and now Indiana. I still don't think there's been as big of a power shift as everybody says, but it is undeniable that now, through the last 3 seasons, the Big Ten's won the national championships. They've won the last 3, and it hasn't been, since since Alabama has not been the power that they once were. The Big Ten has found their way into winning national championships, and I think next season, right, from the SEC perspective, it's going to be interesting to watch because you obviously still have Texas and Georgia as the big dogs, but it's like, okay, after them, who is it?
Ohio State?
No, I'm saying SEC.
Oh,
like
Georgia?
after Georgia and Texas, who is it? Is it Texas A&M with Marcel Reed? I would assume they'll probably get the credit there because they're going to be returning their quarterback and the whole thing there. And the
Thought
team
that meant something.
The team they ended up losing to in the playoff maybe wasn't as much of a
10 seed as you thought.
right because they end up playing in the national championship and
Losing by a touchdown.
playing pretty well. And then Tennessee, what do they look like? Ole Miss, is it them? They don't have their coach anymore. Is it Lane Kiffin and LSU that can make just go? You can go through all the storylines. Is it Alabama? Can they still stay in that dominant realm? Mateer going back to Oklahoma, what does that mean? It's going to be very interesting to watch, just outside of Texas and Georgia, because I think those two are going to be the most nationally accepted. Those are the 2 SEC, your top 5 teams.
Well, yeah, you got Arch coming back. They go and you sell their soul for Cam Coleman
Right.
to get him a weapon. They cashed out the players that were there that were starters that were Arch's former roommate. Said you can hit the bricks. And so, yeah, Texas is definitely going to be in that conversation.
Georgia always.
But I think this is why, and Nick Saban hit on this a little bit during the College Game Day feature before the game, and it was talking about the dominance of the Big Ten. He's like, well, yeah, this is what NIL created because none of the guys that played the SEC ever wanted to go up north. But you know what you had to do? You had to pay them to go up there. And that is certainly the case where they've added talent from across the country because that check looks a little bit different whenever it is guaranteed as opposed to, I'm telling you the tradition of Indiana, the tradition of what, Michigan with I don't know what their head coach was up to.
Sharon's more.
Right. And then Ohio State, those are things that you have to sell.
Right.
And now you have the purchasing
You gotta
power to
check.
do so, and that's how you've seen the power shift between the SEC and now the Big Ten. But it all makes for a better sport.
100%. I'm not, I'm not one of the ones where every year the SEC doesn't win, I'm pissed off.
No, I don't necessarily even root for an SEC team.
Nope.
No, I mean, I wasn't rooting for Ole Miss to beat Miami.
No, we needed them to lose. Clearly.
Like, if Georgia would have stayed in it, I'd have rooted for them over Miami. But I had no problem rooting for Indiana.
I feel like whenever an SEC team wins it, it's like harm has been done to LSU. I felt like last night was harmless,
No, it was a game that I was not emotionally invested in.
The only emotional investment you can try to manufacture is this one, whenever they start talking greatest teams of all time.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Nobody's buying this,
This
though, right?
conversation here.
No, it's worthless, but that's the only thing that you would do, maybe Miami win would be better than...
They started spinning it up before the game, and I think once the game happened, it just all
went
shut
away.
Up. It's just all gone. There was never truly a conversation, ever. You could try to make it as much as you want. They went 16-0, and they had this margin of victory, and blah, 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 blah. They compared Mendoza and Burrow's yard per attempts and their what was their quarterback rating and their wins, right? But they didn't compare yards, they didn't compare touchdowns, they didn't compare anything. And then you look at this right here. And
That run last night was Burrow-esque, though.
Oh no, of course. I mean, that's a Heisman moment,
Yeah.
right? But put those numbers back up.
That was spectacular.
You know, you can be Burrow-esque as much as you want. Try going 31 for 49, 463, 5 tuds, 14 carries, 58 yards, and a
Good
touchdown.
Lord, put the team on my back,
versus
though.
16 of 27, 186, no touchdowns, 7 carries, -8 yards, and a touchdown.
So Joe Burrow accounted for what? Let's include the extra point. 42 points to 7.
But hold on, guys. Joe Burrow had 2 first-round wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean that was on the team.
I've seen plenty of quarterbacks that have had first-round wide receivers that
shit the bed.
Yeah, still don't do that, you know. And also let's take into account, and this isn't a diss to Miami. Miami's they were a 13-2 team that had lost to Louisville during the season. Clemson were the defending national champions. They were undefeated and just beat Ohio State in a semifinal game before LSU did that to them. So that'll be that. It's fun every year. They try to have this conversation, and there's just never ever a comparison.
It'll also be interesting to look back because you see a lot of the players that LSU played against in the NFL: Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, who
the
went to the
quarterbacks,
playoffs. I mean it. The competition is like you could pull up ranked opponents, pull up the rosters of these teams that LSU played. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was in the playoff this year.
Just watch the LSU Bama game.
It's 2 NFL teams.
They played okay. Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, and then Trevor Lawrence.
Right,
is that 3 playoff quarterbacks?
No.
That Joe
There's
Burrow
more.
Ran through?
They also played Bo Nix at Auburn.
Bo Nix,
who's a playoff quarterback. They went through. Let's see.
They didn't play Josh Allen. No Drake May.
They played. No
Purdy.
Yeah, they played Jordan Love. They played Bo Nix. They played Tua Tagovailoa. They played. Georgia. That was Fromm. Then they played Trevor Lawrence and Jalen Hurts. I mean,
dude,
it's absolutely silly.
And they were averaging like.
Yeah, I mean they were beating them all by 20 points. Besides Auburn, that game was just weird from the jump, and I like to forget about that
day game.
But it was a day game, and the LSU actually got a bunch of yards on. They just didn't get in the end zone.
Muggy, gloomy day.
You had Big Cat.
I think it was supposed to rain.
Derek Brown, first round pick. Big Cat, first round pick.
Big Cat, spot the ball, got the drill.
Stingley halftime pick though, needed it.
Needed that after he fumbled.
Yep.
Yeah, huge. So it's always fun every year when you get to the national championship. Everybody wants to have that conversation, and it just
should never be had. No,
it should never be had. It'll never. You will not be able to compare any team to that team. It's just the way it goes. That was an NFL team on a football field.
It would be fun if another team topped it, but only if that team was from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, if LSU put together another one of those, I
don't think it's possible.
I also don't think it's
possible.
Just
not possible.
Yeah,
no, I think it is with the 16th game. I think it's totally possible with the 16th game.
I think the sport has changed so much.
You can't have that collection of talent.
You can't have that collection. That collection of talent doesn't happen anymore.
And if you do have it, you're going to have every dollar in the world.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like they're doing right now.
Trying to at least. Like, it's just that collection of talent. Like, I remember going into the spring game, and, you get the roster when you walk in, and you go sit to watch, and they hand you the big roster. And I remember looking at it being like, I know every name. I was like, I know all these. There's not like a, well, who's that? The Mike linebacker.
Yeah.
Like, actually, I know everybody on this roster. This is kind of it's gonna be a really good team. And then I remember sitting there watching Joe Burrow and LSU go down the field, drive number 1 against Georgia Southern. Granted, it was Georgia Southern, but I was like, that looks a little different. Mm-hmm. And then Burrow threads the needle to Jamar in the end zone, and I was like, okay. And then the next week you turn the page to Texas, and it was just like,
oh shit, they hit Pearl Harbor.
3rd and 17, we just threw it?
Oh, we're invading Europe?
Keep it rolling.
Oh my gosh, Japan, no.
Yeah, man. It was fun. That's for sure.
I mean, D-Day. When you go back to it and you see the first drive against Georgia Southern,
dude, what was
6 plays, 75 yards, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. LSU has never done that.
Never,
unless it was Leonard Fournette, 1 play, 80 yards.
Right. Like you would have a couple of drives like that where it's like, oh,
Quick strike.
Lenny just popped off on a 75-yard touchdown. But you didn't put together
6 plays in 2
calculated
minutes.
6 plays, 2 minutes, tud. I get fired up talking about it every time.
Oh, yeah.
It just
They
it
scored
never fails.
6 plays in 2 minutes and 24 seconds, 6 plays, 2 minutes and 13 seconds, 10 plays in 3 minutes and 50 seconds, 5 plays in 2 minutes and 2 seconds, 4 plays. These are all touchdown drives, by the way. 4 plays in 1 minute and 19, finally give up a field goal. 5 plays, 80 yards, 1 minute and 24 seconds. Like their longest drive was your last drive. That was 3 minutes and 47 seconds. That resulted in a touchdown.
And I got into it on Twitter with a guy who had put out a picture of that classic Alabama wide receiver picture that everyone posts of those 4. What was it? Judy, Smith,
Ruggs,
Smith, and Waddle. And he said something about he was one upping the former Clemson room that had Martavis Bryant, Sammy Watkins, and D-Hop. So I quote tweeted it with a picture of Justin, Jamar, and Terrace. And his response was, Terrace Marshall, you just lost the argument. And then I was like, actually, let's take a peek at Terrace's numbers. Terrace Marshall, who was LSU's 3rd wide receiver, and gets forgotten about a lot.
Yeah,
because in the NFL, he hasn't panned out in the way the other 2 have because they run the league. But his numbers, when you really sit down and look at it, I'm pulling them up right now to read them aloud, are not anything to just kind of bat an eye at. I mean, in 2019, he played in 12 games. He had 46 catches, 671 yards, and 13 touchdowns. And so I compared. I was like, actually, Terrace had the same amount of touchdowns as Ruggs and Waddle combined in 2019. And then the real kicker, because I think some people forget about the start he was off to in 2020 before he opted out. And this is the reason he opted out. He played in 7 games. He had 48 catches, 731 yards, and 10 touchdowns.
10.
In 7 games, 10 touchdowns. He was averaging 104 yards per game. He was balling.
He played in 7 games and still finished 3rd in the SEC in catches per game, receiving yards per game, and 3rd in the SEC in receiving touchdowns.
Sounds decent to me.
And, that's the reason why he opts out. I mean,
Right,
you opt out after that because you're like, actually,
They're going to go get curb stomped by Bama.
I've done all I need to do,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be a first-round pick.
There's no point.
When you go through his LSU numbers, it's actually absurd because obviously they're going to – I didn't know this was an NFL debate. I thought this was a college football debate.
Yeah.
But appeared at, had 32 games at LSU, started 20, 106 catches for 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns. Tied for number 4 in school history with 23 touchdowns. One of only 6 players in LSU history with 1,500 receiving yards and 20 touchdowns.
Played 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Played 2. And because that's when you compare – because I was comparing Waddle's numbers to Terrace because I was like, you can compare Devontae and Judy to Justin and Jamar all you want. I mean, whatever clears, right? I was like, but we can compare threes here in Waddle and Terrace, and the only reason Waddle's numbers look better is because he played as a freshman and Terrace didn't. Because in 2018, Terrace Marshall he didn't play that much as freshman, but he was the higher ranking
Out of all of them.
out of all 3 of them coming out of high school. Like he was Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
He was the highest rated high school receiver out of all 3. Obviously, Justin, great story. He was a 2-star. But, I mean, he was higher rated than Jamar coming out of high school. Les Miles wanted to play Jamar at corner. Jamar's committed where? Mississippi State?
You want to put a square
Jamar?
block and
Kansas.
Kansas, yeah.
Kansas,
a
yeah.
square block,
Mississippi State
circle
was the league.
cutout.
Oh, I'm sure Jamar would have been a fine corner. Turns out
In Florida. He was committed to Florida?
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, he would have been great wherever.
Right. But wide receiver seems to be the best fit.
Yeah.
I think he made the right decision.
Yeah, he did. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on this Tuesday morning, as it is still a fun time around LSU football. LSU men's basketball, however, has a big-time matchup tonight. They are on the road in Gainesville as they face number 16 Florida.
Ooh.
It'll be 6 p.m. tonight on ESPN2. Of course, there are going to be a lot of questions around DJ Thomas. I
Questionable,
don't know if he's going to play.
He got upgraded to questionable.
Questionable. I would assume he's not. Because in my opinion, Florida's a very good team. Defending national champions.
Good coach.
Very good coach. Not a good person, I don't think.
No.
He was a good basketball coach.
A little horny.
You don't want to push him too early in a game that you might still lose without him. I'm not the coach. I don't make the decisions. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to watch them play once again. See if they can maybe catch some fire. Who knows?
What's spread, like 15.5?
Let's see. Let's check out what our friends over
LSU's covering.
See what our friends over at FanDuel
I checked
have.
yesterday.
They play well against Florida.
Pretty sure it was.
No, they do.
15.5.
They played
McMahon
well against
always.
Florida last
I think
year.
McMahon coaches his best against Florida.
It'll be on the road. It is 15.5. Florida is favored by 15.5 over LSU tonight via our friends over at FanDuel. Lloyd, you taking them to cover?
I think we should. After what we
Plus
saw,
15.5. You can also get them at plus 980 on the money line.
that's a little aggressive.
Yeah.
But I'll take the 15.5 points just to see. Like,
I'm with it.
I guess I'll pull this up. LSU's in their losses, have they been losing by 20 points, 15 points? I feel like they've all been relatively close.
I think
They haven't gotten
Like,
except
but
for-
when they lose, they're
like
not getting.
Texas Tech.
I think
Now, this is the best team they've played up to this point. Without, and it's
Yeah.
not even close. Like, Vanderbilt's good. Florida just beat Vanderbilt on the road.
Texas Tech was pretty good too.
Texas Tech just beat BYU.
Yeah, Texas Tech was very good as well. I forget about the Texas Tech game. You
you
lost to
lost
Texas
by-
Tech by 20.
I think
plus
LSU covers
24?
because I think they've been shooting well last two games. They've been shooting the 3-ball well.
Yep.
You lost
It's been
by
falling.
1 to Kentucky.
Yep. You lost
11
close
to-
to A&M. 3 to A&M?
Yeah, you lost by 3 to A&M. I'm just going in reverse order from what we
Yeah.
just saw. And just the losses. So, lost by 1 point to Kentucky. Lost by 11
To Vandy.
to Vanderbilt, at Vanderbilt. Lost by 10 to South Carolina at home. And then at Texas A&M, you lost by 3. So, really, the only one that you wouldn't have covered is the Texas Tech game when that was... We knew how that kind of played out because of just the whole schedule.
Right.
When you have to fly up to Boston College, come back home in 4 days, come back, and then go to Texas Tech.
And Texas
tough.
Tech made every shot they threw at
Everything.
the goal.
Everything.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
just...
Bro, I was
it was
watching.
over from the
I
jump.
was watching Texas Tech go neck for neck with Houston.
No, Texas Tech is a good team.
No, very good team.
They're
tough.
very good. And they've got one of the best duos in the sport. Top
So, official FanDuel bet of the day.
Plus 15.5 LSU men's basketball.
I like
go.
it. I like it.
I would imagine.
And if you're feeling real aggressive, plus 980.
Plus 980 on the money
Come
line.
on. If you really want the money.
Because
I think the only way they cover is Nwoko has to have a good game. I
And
think.
that's asking a lot.
He has to. But I mean by good game, he doesn't have to score.
What he needs to do is
16
stop
points.
getting 2 fouls in the first
No.
2
Right.
minutes of a game.
well, that and I think he needs to continue his offensive rebounding.
Right? Yeah. The
campaign.
rebounding's got to be
Dude,
crucial.
he gets
tonight.
at the end of the Missouri game, he was getting every offensive rebound.
Yeah,
Gobble.
so, I mean, hey, we'll be tuned in. Plus 15.5 if you want to be invested with us. FanDuel, our friends over
it's
at
the only
FanDuel
way to do
Sportsbook.
it.
Need it.
Plus 15.5 LSU men's basketball covers versus Florida. It'll be exciting to see. See the way it goes. Kaylin in the chat says, what was it? The Texas game will be a game of matchups next year. Blake against Arch, Kiffin against Sark, Pickett against Coleman, potentially Jordan Seaton versus Colin Simmons.
Kicker versus kicker, possibly.
Potentially. I mean, there's going to be some fun games next year. And I
Colin
heard,
Simmons is why you need Seaton.
yeah, I mean, there's a handful of those, those SEC.
Colin
edge
Simmons
rushers
is
that
why
you
you
like.
need money.
Yep.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have this kind of figured out
When he was available.
when he was available, because you would have.
He went up against
would've
the
got
row
him.
of Lambos.
Well, he wanted to be.
Well,
an
the
LSU.
thing is, sure, show me 6 Lamborghinis. I can only have one. Right? Like, I
Yeah.
get to pick, but it's not like I get all 6.
That's my argument. I know, like, if I was in the situation, I would obviously want more money, but, like, bro, $500K for me right now, that would be plenty enough money for me to do whatever I wanted in college. Because, I feel like I'm a
Not
simple
really.
person. Like, get me a car, get me money to spend freely for whatever I want, and I'm good, I don't need
500K
crazy.
is nothing.
No, but I'm saying,
I
like,
mean, we're not really in the business to say 500.
I'll take 500K. I don't know about.
500K would do a lot for me
Lloyd,
right now.
Lloyd, a milli would be good enough.
Yeah, a year.
Because I'm not thinking about, if I'm thinking about generational wealth, then sure, but I'm thinking about, like, myself.
Well, I'm thinking about what they're actually going for. If you're Colin Simmons, you say, I'll take
Well,
500K.
But Christian's saying for Christian Cali right now.
Oh, yeah, that sure.
500K with.
I would take 25.
You've already got your apartment. You've got a car.
I would take 10.
I'll take
5K. I'll take anything. Maybe $100 a day.
It's like a handshake.
I'll go for free. Take one for the fucking team.
Yeah, there you go.
Y'all don't have to pay me. I'm the number one player in the country. Y'all don't have to pay me. I'm good.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll just drive my Civic around and.
Maybe like Ty Simpson, be like, I don't really want the money.
Yeah, just whenever I need like a little bit of money to go do something fun, can I just have some coach?
Give me a gas card.
All right, bet.
Hey,
We're
gas
good.
cards work.
Gas cards work. Hey,
And it's
they're
for more than
they're
gas.
Doing a job. It is. The gas cards aren't only for gas. I only use them for gas.
No, you
but
can use it, buy anything you
go,
want.
You can go in there. You can run and get you a little energy drink and swipe that gas card.
Get you tequila.
But we appreciate everybody hanging out with us here this morning. We're going to close it out 13 for 13 this morning. And I do want to give a shout out here, and 2 claps actually, to Lily Courtney for that king cake yesterday. We talked a lot about it. It sat right there on. We have a mini.
A lot of shit was being talked around before.
There was nothing being bad spoken about it.
Well, some people.
We were upset at the fact that it was brought and there were no utensils to get into it.
You teach a man to fish.
Choosers, right. But
give a man a fish.
Lily
feed him
Courtney,
for a day.
the homemade king cake that we had yesterday morning, got taken care of pretty quickly
with the hasteness. And
it was absolutely delicious. I went and I had the first slice. I looked at everybody and I was like, yeah. I went back and had 3 more slices after that. It was absolutely the best king cake I've ever had. Actually,
I didn't get a piece.
It made my stomach hurt after, but that's because I ate too much.
Yeah, you had 5 pieces.
Yeah,
it was the best king cake I ever had.
Hell yes. Well, maybe this is a new avenue.
It might need to be
new.
Like
new
people,
bakery.
People in COVID would.
I mean, you should have seen the way they lined up at the door.
Oh, well, yeah, they were talking a lot of shit. I don't want anything coming from a Courtney house. Well, it's like, listen, first
Actually,
of all,
yeah.
They were talking about shit about every king cake, too. Like,
It's just Lloyd that's in it up this way.
Right.
Everything else there is
Sterling. Mint.
Courtney's Bakery has a nice ring to it.
She was in Alexandria. She ran a little side hustle. She was the dessert queen.
I tell you
and
what.
she would teach classes out of the house. I think there were some tax things going on there. We're not really above board. But she would have people come to the crib, and she would teach like a 10 to 12 person bakery class.
I mean, I'll sell that.
Now she does.
I'll sell that king cake to anybody.
Yeah, and now she teaches lessons at Red Stick Spice. So yeah, she knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's
if
doing.
I had a girlfriend, I'd encourage her to go to that.
Yeah, go learn how to cook from Lily Courtney.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Shout out to Red Six Spice.
And just an absolute, just a gem of.
She's also one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, anytime you meet Lloyd's mom, it's jarring, right? Because you go.
How'd that happen? She's too nice to me. He's gonna figure it out. That's what she finally just decided. Second kid syndrome. She tried too hard with Sean. He turned out, and then me, she was just like, "Oh, whatever." Like you can't really get.
Sean
in trouble.
raised that one.
No, it wasn't even that either. I'll raise Sean.
Yeah,
he wouldn't talk to the people at Blockbuster. And it's like he got scared one time because he went to how they had a little flap to.
Yes.
Please be kind, rewind, put your tape back.
Yep.
He went to go put a VHS back, for those that don't know. Those used to be a thing.
Yep.
And opens it up, looks inside there. Man's hand is in there. And it's like, that's the worker getting the... He's like, oh, my God, there's somebody in there. After that, it was donezo. For that, it's like, I had to go
Lloyd,
check
take care of
out.
this.
Yeah. Like, he wouldn't even go talk to the people behind the counter. We figured that out, though. Alcohol solves a lot of problems for social anxiety. Now he's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It's got kicked off a couple of live streams.
Loves LSU football.
That's the family. Only 2 of us.
Shout out to the Courtneys.
Shout out to the Courtneys. And Tunchi.
Tunchi, yep. Father of one.
Father of one.
And Jonathan now, I guess.
Yeah. He's not. That's his mom's side.
He's always been a part of the family, but he's not a Courtney.
Well, the cancer. We didn't know how much longer we were going to have him, but he's fought it off.
Okay. Strong.
I guess. Well, mentally weak. Physically, probably not strong.
He beat cancer, though.
He did beat cancer. Turns out,
mentally strong
amongst
for
us.
Going 13 and 13.
Yeah, he is great for that.
He is great for that. Yeah. He
Pogue is a great.
Pogue.
He's a great addition.
Yeah, no, I mean we've.
Oh, I know this. It's Nature Valley.
Poggi, Wyatt, and Jonathan crush the.
Yeah, all the things that we don't
trivias,
know.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can connect athletically. And this is just a nice
Shout out Seth Darnold.
These are nice little, I was about to say they're nice little just warm-up shots in the gym.
No, we'll get them back in soon.
I mean, we're getting close to baseball.
We are. Itching for it, man. Scrimmages this week.
Yeah, starts Wednesday.
Yep.
Open to the public.
Tomorrow. Thursday. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
And if you don't, I mean,
3:30, 3:33.
Portal's closed. So really, it's time to move on.
Time
and
to
here's
watch.
our king, lest you forget what he was doing last year.
That's where I learned how to win. My house growing up in Orville, California, 1063 Grand Avenue.
Oh,
That's
God.
where I learned how to win, was having my dad as my dad and my brother as my brother.
With this team filled with new transfers and freshmen, all these new pieces, when did it become evident that you had something there?
You know, I never take one game for granted. I know it's super boring and you can't write an article about it, but it was literally just like a head down mentality the whole time. I would probably say when we won the Little Rock game, because like I had this thought that this team deserved to be here, and there's no way our season was ending without being here because they'd done everything right. And if it came down to one baseball game and it didn't go our way, I wasn't even sure how I would process that. But when we won that game, it was like we got like this next breath of life, and then I don't think we've lost since then. And I like the 5-0 Omaha experience better than the 6-2.
Yep, that's the case too.
Dude,
but
I mean, I could run through a wall.
me and Jay are on the same page.
Y'all did. We had the conversation many times after that Little Rock
way
loss.
this team
It was like,
loses.
that is not the way it ends for this team. That's just not.
Oh, it was during
wasn't in the cards.
It was down 5-1. We were
Yep.
at golf suites. I just looked at around the room. I was like, this is not how this season ends.
Nope.
Because it's been, like you said, they've done everything right. Now we turn the page to 2026. It feels like a more talented team, but we will see. And it starts tomorrow.
see.
We get eyes on the boys.
Can't wait. Because I got to learn
Forcing
that roster, too. I got to
fastball.
get the numbers down.
That's right.
Got to dial in here, lock
God
in.
hell, Cano hit the portal, dog.
He stayed. He
know.
ran it back.
I guess he's a fraud.
Shout out Chris Curry.
I mean, he only hit like 210.
He wasn't a fraud. I mean,
LSU
if you saw
killer.
that. That
He
swing,
ranked on LSU.
that was not a fraud swing.
No.
That
Fluke
was,
weekend.
That was real.
To learn how to pitch to him. Hopefully, we don't see him again.
We'll see him in the
That
World
center
Baseball
fielder.
Classic.
Yeah, little frog man.
2 claps, ready?
Rip. Bit.
No, 2 claps for Lily Courtney.
Oh, yes.
Okay, ready.
2 claps to Bella Danger. Ready.
One more.
I got another one in me. Fee, fi, fo, fum.
Want to help us do
We're still
trivia?
live.
We're wrapping it up.
Let's see, what do we have here?
Fumble.
Is it? I thought it was fum.
Yeah, no.
Would it be fumble?
I think
so.
they
Fee,
might
fi,
have you
fo,
right.
This might
Stewie.
just be a trick.
I think it's
Philadelphia,
Philadelphia, Atlanta, Miami,
KFC.
and then I think
Stewie.
Stewie. No cars.
and then you've got botch, fumble, flub, and yeah, I mean it feels the only thing right. There we go. And you've got Stewie, Fee, Point Gold, and KFC.
What is this?
This is WNBA nicknames. Don't want me to flex on you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. You can have that, Loverina. I'm still on Fee Fi Fo Fum.
Sophie Cunningham.
Hurt.
See your bikini video? I didn't see it. I was just asking. I didn't see it either. I just heard about
She's
it.
rehabbing.
Yeah, I know, but she posted a video. Apparently, my friends told me about it.
Mm-hmm. She's hurt.
Really,
A
Yeah.
sight for sore eyes.
Carson Beck's eyes are sore.
My eyes are sore from looking at Carson Beck.
Those
Yeah,
upper,
put that
eye,
so-
that
Did you
upper
see
eyelid
it?
exposure is
Okay,
hideous.
if I just one thing me and my friends noticed when they threw up the graphic after a play before they go to commercial, Carson Beck was doing the U in the camera on his his left.
It was
hand?
his left arm, his
His
non-throwing
left hand. The calluses on his hand were like not just calluses; they were like red, like bloody. And I was like, first off,
From what?
we can't edit this and make his hands look normal.
Yeah.
Second, what is that? Why is his left hand
This
all
just
calloused up?
adds to the mystery of Carson Beck.
I was like, Like, I thought they
Interesting human being.
They were trying to
for
take
sure.
attention away from his face.
The gross,
Because, man.
unnervy Carson Beck.
Somebody did it. Oh.
You see it?
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I noticed it.
What could
And
this
it
be
was-
from? Maybe CrossFit.
But it's his non-throwing hand.
Right, the game time only for them.
Yeah, I guess so. But also, graphic designers, we can't edit that out.
Dude, that's horrible.
foul.
I mean, like,
It's
you don't
pain.
work out that hard.
Birthmark?
Maybe he's a lefty.
We're taking attention away from his face.
Or that.
Put a glove on.
Let's see, celebrity mashup.
Or sock. That's
it's Nicolas Cage and Jesse, whatever. What's his name?
I'm very useless on the
Everybody is.
celebrity
besides
mashups.
Noah and Lloyd. They somehow know
I
it.
believe it's Nicolas Cage. Can we scroll down a little bit so I can actually see the hair? Oh, is it Nicolas Cage? I don't know if that's his hair.
Wait, is that the guy from who plays Zuckerberg?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's who he is.
That's
But I
Nicolas
can't think
Cage?
of his name. It's
Eisenberg.
I have no idea.
yeah, he's from
I don't know actors.
Me neither.
Dwight D. Eisenhower. Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg.
You gave me athlete?
I feel like it's Nicolas Cage. Usually my gut is
Yeah. It's the
pretty
neck.
right. Yeah, and the ears.
Yep.
Nice.
There you go. They defeated this team. The Broncos appeared in 2 FC Championship games during the 2010s. Each time they defeated this team.
It has to be the Patriots, right?
It's either the Patriots or the Ravens. I feel like it would be the Patriots.
Well, because
Okay, so when did they reach the AFC Championship? They won in 2016 and they lost in 2013,
2014.
2014.
Was it, obviously it wasn't the AFC Championship, but it was, okay, so it wouldn't be this year. Because Tebow beat the Steelers, but they didn't win the
No, that
AFC
was first
Championship.
round.
Yeah, first round.
It's either the Patriots or the Ravens.
I'm just trying to think.
Patriots.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Peyton versus Tom.
Right.
College football. Before winning the Heisman, Indiana
Hey!
Mendoza played at Cal Berkeley.
Not Cal Poly.
Poly Market.
Poly Market, get it now while you can.
With a killer mid-range game, this 7-foot-tall, long-haired Gonzaga player was this All-American school first-turning seed in 2013. This, this isn't. Is it? It's Adam Morrison wasn't.
Not,
No,
he was not
it's-
7 feet
no.
tall either.
Oh.
7 feet tall in 2013. This is Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, it is Kelly Olynyk.
Oh. Dirty player.
Kelly. Ugly
Science. While Antarctica has the most penguins in the world, oceanic
I
countries.
don't know.
This oceanic country is home to the greatest variety of penguin species. What is an oceanic country?
A country on the ocean.
It's what, Pacific?
Could be.
Or Atlantic.
Or the Arctic.
Potentially.
I would like to say like
Japan.
Australia.
Greenland or some shit.
Of course
Greenland,
you
we'll,
would,
we'll
yeah.
know soon
Yeah.
when we buy it.
When Greenland's out.
We should just invade it, honestly.
There's a couple boats there and some.
Gage Evans also guessed Greenland. I'm not rolling. New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand, mate.
I was close. I said Australia.
I guess New Zealand's
Close enough.
glaciers.
Argentina. But Johnny L. Goodson is
Wow.
usually right.
Argentina's not an oceanic country, is it?
No.
Papua New Guinea?
Argentina.
Stick with
New
Zealand.
Zealand. Yeah. Typically packaged in red tins, this candy is butter crunch toffee covered with almonds.
It sounds awesome.
Butter crunch toffee covered with almonds.
It's magic.
In a red tin.
I love toffee.
I do love toffee as well.
I love almonds.
My mom eats these.
Does feel like a mom candy?
Mm-hmm.
A red tin.
I think Altoids, but that's a mint.
That was the first thing in my mind.
And the tin.
A little cinnamon Altoid.
I want to say it's like Roca something.
Roca.
Roca. Shout out Go Eats.
Red tins, butter crunch toffee covered with almonds.
Don't leave these in the sun. You'll end up with one.
One big
Mm-hmm.
butter crunch toffee covered with almonds.
Nothing.
Like I'm thinking of like. No, that's pecans. Gosh dog it. I don't know this one.
Shut up.
That's your honey hole, but that's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
With the game's actual creators collaborating to provide actual game footage and graphics, World of Warcraft was featured in a 2006 episode of this long-running show.
2006 long-running show.
Is this South Park?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Ni hao ma, South Park.
Man!
When a secretary's idea is stolen by her boss, she seizes an opportunity to steal it back by pretending she has her boss's job in this 1988
Shitty
film
one.
starring Melanie Griffith and Harrison Ford. It's an almond roca.
Roca.
Hey!
Yeah.
Poge.
I was on the right track.
That was right. Yeah, you said Roca. I don't know this at all.
No, I don't know this film. 1988.
Who's Melanie Griffith?
I don't know. I know Harrison Ford, though.
I do.
I know Andy Griffith.
Yep.
Great show that
What are you
is.
doing your laptop there, bud?
I'm just moving up and down.
Working girl.
That's what Christian's doing over there in that seat.
Oh. Roca.
Migos rapper.
Offset.
Take off because he died.
Migos
RIP.
rapper.
No. And record producer Metro Boomin collaborated this 2017 named after this style.
Ric Flair.
Ric
Drip
Flair.
Go.
Ric
Woo!
Ric Flair. Go. What a bitch.
Number 9. Here we go. Poge.
There's our honey hole right there. Ric
That's
Flair
right.
drip, baby. What does the Ric Flair drip
Oh,
do?
getting married's the
Go,
biggest
woo, what a
mistake.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on this Tuesday morning. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 to 10 a.m. with more Tingle and Co.
Man, I always been a winner. I know what it takes. Wake up every morning. What's up? What you trying to
Row and
say?
JD.
You know the hitters like I'm Jay Johnson. Walk in the world, Frank Wilson. You know they coming.